I just put a filter on.
And we're live. Hi.
So we are live. We are live, and we have a wonderful.
Oh, we're
Okay,
live.
everybody knows Kendra. Everybody knows Kendra Cunningham. We're so happy to see you, all these Boston girls and me, originally from the Boston area. What I want people to know who don't know Kendra is that not only is she a kick-ass comedian, she's a comedy writer and actress and filmmaker. I mean, this young lady does it all. Oh, and bartender. Can you tell the audience? I loved your joke. People were talking in the Trump. We don't do politics so much, but in the Trump-Biden debate about the moderator.
Oh yeah.
Who did you suggest the moderator should have been?
Eddie Brooklyn bartender.
I think that was just so perfect.
We would have shut them down pretty fast.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
Yeah. No.
And then I was saying to Kendra, I went to her Lonely Girl 48, one of her first short films. That was
the first one.
It's just such a classic. Can you describe to them what it's about so I don't butcher it?
Sure. It's about a girl who gets stood up for a date, and her best friend confront the man.
It's Vicky Cunningham, who is originally of Russian descent,
and she's from Brighton or Brookline.
Oh,
she is. She's Massachusetts too.
Yeah. She's originally from Mass.
Wow, but she
roughs him up.
She roughs up this guy who left the Kendra character at the Capitol Grill, and Kendra had gotten her highlights done, waxing, you know, that's a lot to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
He didn't show up, so Vicky roughed him up. So what are you working on now? What's going on with you now?
I made a couple of short horror films over the pandemic.
Oh no!
And then I'm working on a fictionalized solo show, and trying to keep stand up alive in my life.
Why fictionalized?
Well, I did a solo show that was nonfiction, but I want to do. It's like a character that's sort of like a Grey Gardenish.
Love it. Nice.
Yeah. Can you give us a little of her, or?
Well, she's like basically like she's on house arrest, and she's kind of a load, you know. She's kind of like, you know, bitching and moaning about things that are. Did you ever have you ever heard of this? I'll Eat You Last. It's a solo show that Well, anyway,
sounds vaguely familiar.
Who did that one, Kendra?
That was it was about this agent called Sue Mengers. I don't know if you know who that is.
Oh yes, I did see that. I saw that show. Sue Mengers was like an Uber agent. Super.
Yeah. And it was Bette Midler, wasn't it? Bette
It was
Midler
incredible.
Wow.
It was incredible.
So, anyways, it's like kind of on that tone, I would say. You know,
love it.
Yeah. So
wow, I love
that.
Against type, right?
I mean, what I would love to do is, have a shitload of money and just do whatever I want, make stuff all the time. But, I have a hard time with the money part.
Kendra, 4 words, honey. Back to the pole.
We got a lot of career advice on this podcast.
I often say I wish there was still a market for me, in that world.
There certainly is.
Right. Christine, you really should work with children. Really should.
She should do birthday parties for little kids. Kendra, didn't you just get representation? Something good happened.
Yes, I got a manager who's actually in Worcester, Mass. Her name is Kristen Lucas. She also has a production company called Goldilocks. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Mm-hmm. But anyways, it's Bohemia is the name of the talent agency, and they're worldwide.
That's a big deal, Bohemia.
Yeah.
I mean, if I've heard of them, I don't know all these things. So
I will say they've gotten a bunch of auditions for some movies actually that are supposed to film in Massachusetts. So we'll see. I don't know.
Ooh.
I mean, it would be great,
That would
be something.
So how did you come to her attention? Did she see one of your films or a show or?
She sent me a message actually on Instagram, which is like, I feel like that stuff never happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, she actually had to like message me about something that never, like this project that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and that's how it.
Well, you deserve it. I was so
Thank
happy
you.
when I
Certainly
saw it.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you guys. This is so nice. I didn't realize we were going to talk about me so much. I mean, I would have asked to do this a lot sooner.
And I love being on your podcast. How's your mother? Just for the title alone.
Yes, if you ladies want to be on it, I would love to have both of you.
She's a great
Oh, yeah, I love
interviewer.
it.
We
Would
just talked and
Yeah, let's
talked
do it.
and
We'll set it up.
she
Yeah.
actually listens.
Your mother.
You know, oh, it's so, I actually, one time when I was driving from Nantucket back to Connecticut, I listened to your interview of Carolyn Castiglia, who I love, as Carolyn calls herself, undiscovered superstar. We'll have her substitute in sometimes. She's a wonderful person. And there was so many things I didn't know about her. It was very moving, and it was just a terrific episode. You had another great episode of some PhD in anthropology or something. Does that ring any bells? I remember I was on a ferry boat when I listened to
Was it a man?
Yes.
No, it was probably Mark Gerber.
Yeah.
After driving down the expressway doing it.
Yeah.
Not doing it. recording the podcast.
Like, what kind of podcast is this?
So Kathy and Christine, did you meet Kendra at Women in Comedy Festival, or how do you guys know her?
I met Kendra through Ladies of Laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I met
But-
Kendra through the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yep. And I had heard about Kendra, and actually I had seen her where she did a show for Dick Doherty. I'd seen her years before that. So Kendra's been going at it a long time, and she deserves all the success because
Thank
she
you.
Yeah.
Totally,
yeah.
totally
Oh,
agree.
you guys.
she never quits. She keeps going. She's a brilliant writer, and she's a ladies' lady. She
Yeah.
supports her ladies. So
A girl's girl.
Very important.
No, you're
Thank
such a solid citizen.
I just wanna say,
I
can I
heard
say one
your-
thing? Can I say one thing though, Christine?
My-
I don't know if you remember, but when I met you at that Ladies of Laughter thing, we both didn't win. Do you remember? And we both were like, they were like after party, and we were like, no, I'm a sore sport. I'm out of here. We were both like,
literally, yeah. Me and Kendra were like, fuck that.
I'll never forget. We saw each other afterwards, and I was like, I didn't win either. We were both just like, I'm leaving. Yeah, me too. No parties for me.
I thought it was
Celebrate. Who's judging this? What happened? Like, we were like, no, it was not good.
Again, I think you both should work with children.
I thought it was the Boston accent that drew you together.
I can't lose a Scrabble game without throwing a fit. Like, I do not like to lose.
Oh, and
Exactly.
tell the girls too. I don't know if, gosh, I see you online and stuff, but one of my favorite things that you've done, and God knows, I've been tracking you forever. And I remember when I first thought, oh, wow, she's got it now, was at Women in Comedy Festival. And it was something near the Dick Doherty. It was downstairs or next door. But anyway.
You're talking about the Rockwell?
What?
Was it the Rockwell? Was she at the
No,
Rockwell?
it wasn't at the Rockwell. It was like, it was next door to, what do you call Dick Doherty's place? I'm sorry, Stop, the comedy
Vault.
shop,
The vault.
Oh,
the Vault. I think it was next door, and it was like, oh man, it all has come together.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking. Well, anyway.
But
Thank you. I wish I had another moment like that soon.
while you're driving, I really liked your dry bar sketch special too. That was really good. Your dry bar was good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish I had known that people were actually going to see that. When they asked me to do it, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. This thing like I never heard of. No one will ever hear it. But
Dry bar is a big deal.
Well,
Dry bar.
Yeah.
but when I did it, nobody had really heard of it.
Well, you were one of the first, I think, to really, when it first started coming out.
Yeah, and I mean, I wish if I had known it was going to be seen so much, I certainly would have dressed a little different, and like
Why?
I love the way Kendra dresses.
I did too.
She's a little Valley of the Dolls, a little B-52s. I love it. I love it.
You've made me like leopard spots. I never thought I
Oh,
would like leopard
yep.
spots.
Jane, leopard is the new neutral.
I would pay money to see Jane Condon in a leopard jumpsuit.
Let's do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, I gotta tell
Send
you,
it to Greenwich, Connecticut.
listen, Kendra, I gotta tell you something that to me, I'm sorry to repeat, Kathy knows and Christine, but Christine and I went to the same small co-ed Catholic high school in Brockton, Mass, Codspell. Is that, I mean, she went many years later. Okay, I'm like the grandmother, but it's crazy.
That's crazy. What
It's
a small
crazy.
world.
Yeah.
Really, Cardinal Spellman High School, Codspell. And then we did a fundraiser, and by that time, she'd stopped opening for me, and now I opened for her, you know, but she kept going up. And I still remember saying, okay, everybody in the audience, we're in the cafeteria, you know, tater tot memories. Okay. And I said to everybody, we're so glad you're here. I just want to say, fasten your seatbelts. And if that's not the kind of comedy you like, I could walk you out to the parking lot right now. And they had a great time. That was
Awesome.
Oh,
like, we made January better, didn't we, Christine?
we certainly did.
It
So
was
wait, did you guys both grow up in Brockton?
Yes.
Brockton.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I used to go, I probably have already told you this, Jane, but I used to go, they used to have a Lithuanian fair in Brockton every year.
Absolutely.
Lithuanians were huge.
I
Yeah.
live right
I think
behind
I
it.
went to that once.
Yeah. Oh, I loved that thing. My grandmother was Lithuanian and she used to bring us every year. And oh my God, it was like one of those things I looked forward to.
Kendra, I think they still have it.
Are you serious?
I think I know that so the Lithuanians, that the Lithuanian village was like behind our street.
Right.
We were butted right up again, and they used to have St. Casimir's Church,
I know.
Mhm.
and they used to have a club called the Litho, and it was, I think, 5-cent drafts, and I was 16 years old drinking in there with a pack of Pall Malls. It was the best place, and I think that's all still there. God love them. The Lithuanians have kept that going.
Wow. I have to take a ride down there next time.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if anybody needs a funeral home, my classmate Ann Conley,
Yes.
Conley Funeral Home, just
Are
saying.
you pushing funeral homes on here?
This is what you call product placement.
I mean, well, if this is what we're doing, you guys, I started selling Mary Kay during the pandemic, and I got some eyeshadows for you.
Did you really?
No. Look at my face, Kendra. I can't even put my own makeup on.
Oh, I beg to differ. Miss
I will
Barrett.
say I have gone to I have cried at a Mary Kay party. You know, because you know when somebody does it and you think it's gonna look different, and then you see it, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. I just wasn't prepared.
Have any of you ever gone to the Brockton Fair, though? They used to have incredible
Yeah.
entertainment. I saw the Jackson 5 when Michael Jackson was like just a little kid.
Wow.
At the Brockton Fair?
At the Brockton Fair.
That's
I saw
not the case
Diana
anymore.
Ross. I mean, I felt like saying, what are you doing in Brockton?
That is not the case anymore.
Oh,
No.
it's fun. Did they sell it? Is it still there, the Brockton Fair? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
I loved it. My mother would give me, it was either 25 or 50 cents, which was enough to go on 2 rides.
Right.
Rides were a quarter, or 1 ride and other games of skill.
Beautiful.
Wait,
People don't even use change anymore.
do you guys remember Paragon Park?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You mean that roller coaster?
Yes.
Um,
I was just back in Boston for my birthday and we stayed on Nantasket Beach. At
no.
a little, yeah, it was really nice. I mean, they've really jazzed up Hull. It's very
They
yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Hull used to be 1 vowel away from hell, but they really have.
It's different now. It's different.
I love Hull. Love
Yeah.
it.
I was literally looking online, like, how much is an apartment here? Like, could I move here for a little while?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of expensive now, though, right?
It's not cheap. I mean, understandable, it's right by the beach, but I was like, oh.
and
well,
it's close to Boston.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the
Well,
shame of
listen,
it is that a couple of years ago, maybe 10, we went for 4th of July because my husband mistook somebody saying, why don't you come by on the 4th of July as a real invitation? So we went, all of my family, the 4 of us, we knock on the door just as they're sitting down to a lobster dinner. So were they happy to see us? So then they begrudgingly brought us in. I don't eat seafood, so I obviously offended them. Then Jeff decides to go off with them to do illegal fireworks while we got to stay with his friend and his stripper girlfriend. It was wonderful.
Did you get any material out of it? That's the important thing.
Sounds like yes.
Yeah, it sounds like you did. Oh
My kids will never go back to Hull, is what I'm saying.
Well, I want to tell my favorite uninvited story. A friend of mine, her husband, it was a long way down, 7 years before he died. And I love the whole family. Her son, my little one, best friends. In January, I'm doing a roast of somebody in Greenwich who everybody loves. I remember my friend in the shoe section and said, my daughter, Shari, is getting married and you have to be at our wedding. It's September, whatever. So I wrote it on my schedule. And then I went back to Greenwich in time, for the big wedding. My sister was friends with the groom's family. We carpooled, because we're good people. And we got there and things were going along well, the cocktail party, mingle and greet. And then I went looking for a little name card and I couldn't find it. And then I went over to the girl, Shari and Bill, we sort of knew both sides, and she's dancing along and I'm there, hey Shari, am I invited to your wedding? She said, of course you are, Jane. And I'm there like, okay. She said, go ask Jeffrey. So I asked Jeffrey, who said, ask the wedding planner. And the wedding planner said, no, you're not. I'm like, oh. And she said, but we'll squeeze you in. So my husband, she squeezed us into the groom's table. And I didn't tell my husband, and he's sitting there complaining, this music is so loud. When are we going to get out of here? And they're like, oh, we could go right now, honey. Because we weren't invited. I think what happened was we didn't make the cut, later when they have to pare down the parents.
Right.
Yeah, clearly we were B-list. We were not.
I would never cut the bottles. There is absolutely
Thank
no way.
you.
I have a follow-up question. Is Sherry the bride? So did you go up to the bride and ask her if you were invited to her wedding during her wedding?
She's a friend. Yeah.
That's a bold move. That's a bold move.
So then did you say have dinner?
Yeah, we still the
I
music.
love it. Jane's like, oh yeah, we ate.
Yeah.
Well, I had to give my sister a ride home.
Oh,
So, what am I going to do? You got to feed me. What am I going to do? Leave her? I'm sorry we weren't invited.
lesson learned. Don't ever tell the Condons that they're invited to something, because they're going to take that.
Well, you know what? My husband has made a new rule. He said, Jane, whenever we go to a wedding from now on, I want to see the invitation.
Mhm. Ken's got a lot of rules, but I agree with this one.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I
rules.
agree with this one.
Oh, I love it.
There are many. Like, Kendra, why did you go to Brooklyn? Why did you leave Massachusetts?
I love Jane. I feel like Jane's like the facilitator, and she's like, when there's a moment of silence, she's like, let's get a question going.
Yeah, exactly.
What can I ask this guest of ours? You know what? Why did I go to New York? I moved to Manhattan first, and I was just, whatever. I was living in South Boston, and one of my friends from college called, and she was like, and I always said I wanted to live in New York, and she called, and her roommate was moving out, and she said, if you really want to do it, like,
Now's the time.
shit or get off the pot, basically.
Yeah.
And I did it. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy that I did. I feel like, I have a very supportive family. But I think I don't think I would have had the courage to do some of the things that I've done here without like the distance between, just not like, I don't want to make it sound bad, but just because it's a little out of the realm of what people in my family do. You know what I mean?
Right.
A little.
Yeah.
I I think we're all out of the realm.
Yeah. But it's not like I have some friends in comedy whose parents were like artists or musicians or whatever. Like I still to this day, like I started with a full-time office job. Like even to this day, I do not have the mentality of an artist. Like I'm constantly like, I should get a job. I should go back. I should go.
Kendra has a master's in forensic psychology. Am I right?
That is true. Yes.
You do? I want to start watching Law and Order with you.
Oh my God.
100%.
I did. I worked in the Brooklyn courts for a little while.
Wow.
Working with people who had drug and alcohol problems or mental problems and that were getting in trouble with the law. And then I stopped doing that and went back to bartending.
With also people who had problems.
Oh yeah, no, I know, that's for sure.
But maybe it pays better, you know.
I mean, I love bartending. I wish I didn't like it.
How did you learn to do it?
Well, I was a
Drinking?
hostess. I was a hostess at first in a restaurant, which I love hostessing. You get to dress up and just sort of whatever, but it's not as much money. And then I actually lied and told somebody at, oh my God, it was called Emily's. It was in downtown Crossing in Boston. It's called Emily's, a nightclub on the second floor. I lied. I said I was a bartender before. They hired me. And I was like, I was literally like putting, you're supposed to put all the stuff. If you're making a shot, you put like all the ingredients in a mixer, you shake it up, you put in the shot glasses. Someone ordered 6 shots from me. I put out the 6 shot glasses and I was making each one individually in the thing.
Oh, there's the sign.
Oh yeah. And they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm making 6 woo-woos.
How are you supposed to do it?
Well, you put it all in a shaker. Yeah.
Like Bar Rescue.
And then you divvy it up.
And then pour them into the 6 glasses.
Yeah.
Were you a bartender, Christine?
I was.
Oh.
Oh.
East sides of Christine.
Oh, I know. I was a bartender at the TGI Fridays.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to brag.
I was going to say name dropping.
Yeah,
Well, the two of you, any guidelines on like tipping bartenders and stuff? I don't know. I never know what to do.
Yeah,
What do you think our viewers are?
yeah. What do you mean? You definitely ask a more specific question and I'll
Okay.
answer you.
So I get a drink.
Yeah.
I don't really drink. So, Diet Coke.
I have a question and I do drink. How do you get a bartender's attention?
Yeah. How do you get a bartender's attention? And then no matter what I order, I always like leave $2. But I don't know if that's right, wrong.
I think that's good. I think that's good. I mean,
That's good, Jane.
The more the better. I think, but getting a bartender's attention, I think is definitely not this.
Yeah, that's.
Or this.
Oh, really?
That's like,
Oh,
I've literally said to people like, don't ever do that again. Like that's like, it's just rude.
It is rude.
Yeah, it's very rude. I mean, I think the best thing to do is sort of like follow them with your eyes,
Yeah.
or, let them be aware of your presence. I mean, and then if that doesn't work, say, excuse me, or something,
If
Right.
some guy goes like snap, do you jump over him and like not do him?
I won't. Yeah, I won't.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like some people are like,
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
no.
I'm going to stare with my whole body. I'm just going to go. That's how my daughter stares at people, like with her whole body. She won't use her neck.
wow. What a good idea that is.
Yeah.
I'll
what I
have your
used to
house Chardonnay.
Like right now.
When I used to present the check, I used to say thank you and remember tipping is not a city in China.
Oh, yeah. What? That's good for you.
Did you make like frozen drinks and stuff? That's the one.
Yes,
thing,
it was
yeah,
a nightmare.
yeah. That's the one thing I've never had to do.
Oh, because that's what Friday's thing is. They have all those fruity.
Yeah.
Did you ever take home some of the little umbrellas? I mean, I don't steal, but I would borrow something.
I've taken home
Part of
a
the
lot.
job.
No, yeah, I would probably lose my job. Yeah, that would not
Really?
be good.
Would that be theft? I think of
Yeah.
that's like the pencils of your office.
And if you took them up, there was a girl that I bartended with. We had a drink. We were doing a drink one summer and it had gummy worms in it. Oh, But
Oh,
she took a package of gummy worms home for her baby one night and she got fired.
Oh, first of all, back up. Her baby?
Yeah, you
Her,
don't
well, not her
baby
baby,
gummy worms.
her- he ate them like it. No, he was young, her young son. Yeah.
Okay.
well,
And they fired her.
It was somewhere between 6 months and 18.
Wow.
Somewhere, yeah, in that range.
I get it. I get it.
All right.
well,
so now
that's but TGI, like they're pretty that's like a corporate. I'm sure they have a lot of rules and regulations. Most of the bars that I've worked at have been low, family owned or whatever, kind of loosey goosey,
Right.
I would
Those
take
are the-
maraschino cherries. I love maraschino cherries.
Love them, but I think family-owned businesses, restaurants, way better to work for than a corporate.
Yeah.
Corporate can be a nightmare. Although 3 years ago, I got a huge check from a lawsuit filed against them for not paying correct overtime or something. I just got a check in the mail.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
Yeah,
We should all go
Crazy.
work there. Where is
Is
it?
it like boat money? Is it boat money? What are we talking?
it's what kind of money is this? It's not veneer money, but I can buy as many white strips as I
Is it
Well, I just went and found out that I have $200 in Massachusetts. I went to comptroller the website.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
I had $200 at a company I used to work for. I filled out whatever they needed, and they wrote me back and they said, "Oh, you need to have whatchamacallit, a notarized. You need the person, like the person who works at the company that I haven't worked for in 20 years. They need to notarize that this is like happened." And I'm like,
No.
what's your job? Like, I
Yeah.
thought you do all this stuff. Like, you're the one who told me the money's there. Like,
Exactly. Like the old Don Gavin joke when he pulls up to a self-serve station and he parks and he goes inside and he says, $10, please. And she says, which pump? And he says, well, I was counting on you to know that. I don't work here.
how is he? Have you talked to him?
Yes, we talked to him. We've talked to him 2 weeks ago. I think he's in Florida now, Kendra.
Yeah, I knew that he moved down there. Does he like it?
No,
Oh.
no. And he moved down there because he
Cruises.
does the cruises.
Right.
He's a cruise ship comedian.
Right.
And he was, 40 weeks a year. So he would always have to go from Boston to Fort Lauderdale to fly to Fort Lauderdale to go to get on the cruises. So he thought, I'm going to, cut out the middleman. I'm going to move to Florida. He was in Florida 4 weeks and COVID came and shut
Oh my God, I didn't realize it was that quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
the poor
I
guy.
love him. I love
Right,
him.
Don Gavin Cat is like the godfather of Boston comedy.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I have one other request before we go. It was Kat's birthday yesterday.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Happy
2
birthday,
days
Kat.
ago.
Wait, it's Thursday. It was
Birthday,
Tuesday.
couple of
And
days.
then Kelly's was Saturday and mine was Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so we got to do a little happy birthday. I can't sing. Please, someone rescue me.
Okay, here we
A
go.
1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday
to
you. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday.
Dear Cat.
birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy 40th.
And many more.
Thank you.
Oh.
29 looks great, right?
Yes. Yes.
It does look great. 29 does look great.
I
Thanks
spent
so
half.
much.
I think I spent half your birthday with you. Like I've never texted that much.
We're texting the whole time because we were watching a murder show. It is what it is,
Oh, okay, so Kendra, you're more of a director than any of us. If you were going to cast all of us, I know this is hard. Okay, you're going to make a little Boston-based Brockton, Brockton. Let me see. Christine lives in Plymouth. Catherine's in Medford or Medfield,
Southborough. I'm Southborough. Kathy is in Midfield.
and Kathy's Medfield. Not that that has anything to do with anything. Okay, and Christine has 5 kids. So cast the movie. This is a terrible thing to do to you. I know.
Hmm.
Terrible. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. What's the move? I have you guys are my characters and I tell you what the storyline is. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay. Oh gosh. I'm gonna go with how about a you guys all grew up together, and one of you, I'm not going to say which one to keep the intrigue going, has decided to become a social media sensation and wants everyone on board helping to promote and make this a thing.
I think
That
that's
is
Kelly.
perfect.
I think that's
I
Kelly.
like it.
And you know what we could call it?
Okay.
What?
We could call it the Sisterhood of the Traveling Elastic Waist Pants.
I love it. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta jump.
Okay,
Bye,
I gotta go too. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you, thank
you guys.
Love you.
Waistband.
Thank you, Kendra.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.